Episode number 85. Yes, replied Anne, but you know why, and how I see you, because, insensible to all my sufferings, you persist in remaining in a city where, by remaining, you run the risk of your life, and make me run the risk of my honor. I see you to tell you that everything separates us, the depths of the sea, the enmity of kingdoms, the sanctity of vows. It is sacrilege to struggle against so many things, my lord. In short, I see you to tell you that we must never see each other again. Speak on, madam, speak on, queen, said Buckingham. The sweetness of your voice covers the harshness of your words. You talk of sacrilege. Why, the sacrilege is the separation of two acts formed by God for each other. My lord, cried the queen, you forget that I have never said that I love you. But you have never told me that you did not love me, and truly, to speak such words to me would be, on the part of your majesty, too great an ingratitude. For tell me, where can you find a love like mine, a love which neither time, nor absence, nor despair can extinguish, a love which contents itself with a lost ribbon, a stray look, or a chance word? It is now 3 years, madam, since I saw you for the first time, and during those 3 years I have loved you thus. Shall I tell you each ornament of your toilet? Mark, I see you now. You were seated upon cushions in the Spanish fashion. You wore a robe of green satin embroidered with gold and silver, hanging sleeves knotted upon your beautiful arms, those lovely arms, with large diamonds. You wore a close ruff, a small cap upon your head of the same color as your robe, and in that cap iron's feather. Old. I shut my eyes, and I can see you as you then were. I open them again, and I see what you are now, 100 times more beautiful. What folly, murmured Anne of Austria, who had not the courage to find fault with the Duke for having so well preserved a portrait in his heart. What folly to feed a useless passion with such remembrances. And upon what then must I live? I have nothing but memory. It is my happiness, my treasure, my hope. Every time I see you is a fresh diamond which I enclose in the casket of my heart. This is the thought which you have let fall, and I have picked up. For in 3 years, madam, I have only seen you 4 times, the first, which I have described to you, the second, at the mansion of Madame de Chevreuse, the third, in the gardens of Amiens. Duke, said the queen, blushing, never speak of that evening. Oh, let us speak of it. On the contrary, let us speak of it. That is the most happy and brilliant evening of my life. You remember what a beautiful night it was? How soft and perfumed was the air? How lovely the blue heavens and star-enameled sky? Ah, then, madam, I was able for one instant to be alone with you. Then you were about to tell me all, the isolation of your life, the griefs of your heart. You leaned upon my arm, upon this, madam. I felt, in bending my head toward you, your beautiful hair touched my cheek, and every time that it touched me I trembled from head to foot. Oh, queen! You do not know what felicity from heaven, what joys from paradise, are comprised in a moment like that. Take my wealth, my fortune, my glory, all the days I have to live, for such an instant, for a night like that. For that night, madam, that night you loved me, I will swear it,